Alameda LAFCO meeting, March 8th, 2018.
All right. I call the meeting to order and the pledge of allegiance, if you care to join us, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call.
Commissioner Wieskamp,
Here.
Commissioner Johnson,
Here.
Commissioner Miley, Commissioner Haggerty, Commissioner Marchand,
Here.
Commissioner Thorne, Commissioner Splendorio,
Here.
Commissioner Pico,
Here.
Commissioner Halbert, Commissioner Chan, Commissioner Von Heater Leopold.
Here. We have four.
Yes.
Public comment. If there's anyone in the audience that wishes to address the commission on any item that is not on the agenda that's within our jurisdiction, you may do so now. You have up to 3 minutes. Do we have anybody who's requested that? No? Okay, good. Is there any item particularly that we need to go through while we have a forum, or can we just go in the order that's given?
I think you can go in the order it's
Okay.
presented.
First item then is 5, the transfer of jurisdiction request from Contra Costa LAFCO to consider East Bay Municipal Utility District annexation related to a concurrent City of San Ramon annexation chain property development.
You missed
Hi,
item 4.
Good afternoon. Item 5 is the transfer of jurisdiction request. The Contra Costa County, or Contra Costa LAFCO is handling an annexation request which involves, among others, the East Bay Municipal Utility District. And you, as the Alameda LAFCO, pursuant to the Cortese-Knox Act, are the principal county with exclusive jurisdiction over changes of organization for East Bay MUD. And this annexation would be a change of organization. But the act allows for the transfer of this exclusive jurisdiction if you choose to do so, and the commission that you choose to transfer it to is willing. Contra Costa County is, in this case, the applicant. The territory is within East Bay MUD's sphere of influence, and so the county is requesting. I'm sorry. The territory here is entirely within Contra Costa County. It's within East Bay MUD's sphere of influence, and East Bay, the LAFCO is requesting, or the entity is requesting annexation into multiple jurisdictions simultaneously. And the staff report details the considerations of all the related annexations together. This action makes the most sense in terms of efficiency, expediency, and administratively to handle them all together. Contra Costa LAFCO is willing and has requested this transfer with all of its responsibilities under the Act, which includes for notifications and recording under the law. Your approval will also place on the Contra Costa LAFCO the responsibility that you have as the principal county to consider the impact of this possible annexation on the overall capacity of East Bay MUD to provide services now and in the future to their entire jurisdiction. So we, staff is recommending that you approve Contra Costa LAFCO's request to transfer jurisdiction over the East Bay MUD annexation in conformance with Government Code 56124, to consider annexation of approximately 20 acres at the intersection of Bollinger Canyon and Crow Canyon Road in Contra Costa, known as the Chain property, into the East Bay MUD Municipal Utility District. Such transfer is granted with the assumption that the consideration of the impact of such annexation on the current and future capacity of East Bay MUD to provide services throughout their service area is included in any findings and determinations made by Contra Costa LAFCO.
Congratulations on getting through those in one sentence. Okay, we have our recommendations. Any questions? All right, do I hear a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve.
Okay.
Second.
And second, discussion?
Any public comment?
Surely.
Was there any public comment?
Oh, was there any public comment?
I don't even hear.
I don't think anybody has so far has put anything
Okay.
up there. All right, in that case, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And I did skip the minutes, so if we could look at that, see if there were any questions or concerns about any item in the minutes. Okay,
I'll move approval.
okay,
I'll second.
okay. Any discussion? Anyone in the public? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Then we're to item 6.
Okay, item 6 is recommending the exercise of your third and final renewal option on the contract with Lampier Gregory for planning services consulting. In 2014, your commission, after a request for proposal process, awarded a 3-year agreement to Lampier Gregory, which included 2 additional 1-year options. And Lampier Gregory has provided this commission with exceptional services during the time, and so staff is recommending your approval for the final option year, extending the contract through June 30th, 2019.
Okay, any questions? Anybody in the public have comment? All right, ready for a motion?
So moved. Second.
All right, discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
We're on an efficiency mode here. Next item is agenda item 7, Pleasant View Lane Neighborhood Reorganization within the city of Livermore. Long awaited.
Working on this island for a while.
Yes, yeah, okay. Staff,
So item 7 is a public hearing, so
okay,
do they need to open the
So
public
we
hearing
will-
first?
open that up.
Just that part first, okay.
Open, sorry.
We should have checked on that.
Faster. I know we're trying to move faster, but maybe a brief
Silence with the public.
public
Report.
what we're before us.
Okay.
Mayor Marchand could do it real well.
Okay, item 7 is a hearing to consider one of the long-awaited island eliminations. The city of Livermore has applied to annex the Pleasant View Lane neighborhood into the city. The Cortese-Knox Act mandates the commission's approval of an island annexation if the territory is eligible. And the staff report sets out in detail the criteria, which in main part, I'll just summarize, that the area is less than 150 acres. In this case, the area is 9.36 acres. That the area covers the entire island and it's within the city limits. And all 9.36 acres is the extent of the island. It is currently unincorporated and it is completely surrounded by the city of Livermore. That the territory is substantially developed. This is almost completely developed. There are 23 parcels that contain 19 single-family residences. They're all on improved roads with utilities except for sewer, which will be provided with this approval. It's not agricultural land. The benefit will be that it will clean up the boundary and the area will be able to receive the needed sewer services. And in addition, the zoning and land use are consistent with the surrounding city areas. And the area is tied in geographically, socially, economically, and environmentally with the surrounding city. So the action conforms with the Cortese-Knox Act and the strategic goal of your commission of eliminating islands. And based on these criteria, which again, there's more detail in the staff report, I'm going to read the staff recommendation. After consideration of this report and any testimony or additional materials that are submitted, it is recommended that the commission, 1, conclude that LAFCO has reviewed and considered the information contained in the environmental documentation prepared and certified by the city of Livermore and finds it to be adequate and complete for LAFCO review purposes. 2, adopt a resolution approving the application referenced as the Pleasant View Lane Neighborhood Reorganization to annex approximately 9.36 acres of territory to the city of Livermore, subject to the following terms and conditions. The correction of final maps and descriptions as may be required by the county surveyor. The territory being annexed shall be liable for the continuation of any authorized or existing special taxes, assessments, and charges comparable to properties presently within the annexing agency. And 3, find that the subject annexation proposal meets the provisions of Government Code 56375.3, an island annexation, and therefore LAFCO does hereby waive the protest hearings for this annexation. We do have the associate planner for the city of Livermore, Andy Ross, here, and we also have our planner, Nat Taylor, if there are any specific questions.
Questions, comments at this stage?
I think it's obviously we've been working on this for a while. This achieves some of the major goals of LAFCO to eliminate unincorporated islands. And this enables us to do several things. We can protect the groundwater basin because it's going to take a lot of these folks off of septic, which does impact the groundwater out there. And also enable us to complete the sidewalks and bring all of the infrastructure back into that community. So it's a great benefit.
It's a win-win is what you're saying.
And again, I'd like to acknowledge the contribution of the county supervisor here. that,
Give the answer you?
We're gonna keep that quiet.
Well, but you help cooperate and help make that happen. So I just want to acknowledge that. And thanks for opening for a hearing and the public comment.
I'll open the public hearing. Is there anyone who has a comment, question, anything that we can add?
Move to close public hearing.
Wait, there's one gentleman raised his hand,
Oh,
so
really?
feel free. If you haven't put your name in and all, you can do that afterwards. That's fine, just go
Yeah,
ahead.
fill a speaker card out after.
Okay.
My name is Graham Thomas. My property borders on this annexed area, and I just have a question about the vacant land that's behind my house. What is the intention there as far as allowing building to go on in that property?
Okay, Mr. Thomas, we'll see if we can get an answer.
Good to make it Thomas.
The county,
Andy Ross, that's right, Andy Ross.
It would actually be the city.
you knew you had a reason for being here, right?
So, the vacant lot in question.
If you'd like to give us your name for the
I
record.
apologize, my name is Andy Ross, Associate
Yes.
Planner, City of
Certainly.
Livermore. The vacant land in question would be subject to the pre-zoning that's in place right now that would allow for single-family residential, and the general plan designations would also allow for a minor subdivision of 2 lots.
2 lots, okay? Here's your answer.
2 lots?
Yes,
Potentially, although.
I'm sorry, there's other talk we already.
that's okay.
Yes, potentially 2 lots, and no proposals come forward yet, and I'd be happy to talk to.
But if you need more information, we'd be glad to speak to you about it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else? All right, then I think Mayor Sean would like to make a motion.
Yeah, close the public hearing.
Close the public hearing.
And I'll move approval.
Second.
Okay, motion made and seconded. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I'm going to congratulate the mayor of my city on it. It's been a long time coming.
Thank you to the staff who made all of that come together.
Well, it took a lot of people working hard. Next item is a public hearing on the proposed fiscal year 2018-2019 budget and work plan.
So this is the last time you'll hear from me.
Now,
All me all the time on this meeting. So item 8 is the proposed fiscal year 19 budget and work plan. The proposed budget is balanced, as you can see. It represents an overall increase of only 1% in expenses, and includes appropriations for the water, wastewater, storm, and flood services MSR, and as well as the regular planning and legal services, and sufficient allocation for attendance at the LAFCO annual conference and the staff workshop, among other expenditures. The budget proposes to use $155,000 of available fund balance to offset expenditures, and then allow for a minimal increase of about $2,500 overall in agency apportionments. The work plan conforms with your approved strategic plan, while at the same time taking into consideration your current available resources. And so we recommend approval of the proposed budget, for us to take it back and do the final allocation, send the information to the auditor to do the proposed allocations to the individual districts in the agency apportionments, and to prepare the final budget and work plan to bring back to your final approval in May.
Okay, in May.
Yes.
Any questions? If not, I'll open the public hearing. Anyone have a question or comment? Not? Close the public hearing. All right. Have a motion?
Approval.
Second. Okay. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Oh, goodness. I may get the whole meeting in. Okay, a report on the executive officer recruitment.
Is my mic on? Can you hear me?
Yes.
I think so.
Okay.
Everybody?
Ready?
It's on.
Other than Jenny, you broke the cardinal rule that we're all been told not to touch the mics.
I know.
Apparently you didn't blow up, so
You don't have that.
apparently it's all good.
Okay, Carrie, there you
No,
go.
it's not. It's all being replaced. It's not good at all.
For the moment, it's working.
Yeah, what
That's
I'm
all
used
we
to is
care
the
about.
on and off switch. That those are pretty good. The staff report's quite extensive and went into kind of a lot of detail. The initial discussion actually occurred at the Policy and Budget Committee that occurred. And one of the things I heard loud and clear at the January meeting is that you wanted to move fast and not fast, but with getting the right person, but work with due diligence. And so looking at a lot of options, working with Alameda County HR, we were looking at different options to see which one we could move forward with to get the right executive director for you. And so the recommendation is that we have come up with a job description as described. There was a lot of surveying done by other LAFCO agencies to make sure that we were competitive as far as the price, as a salary range and benefits. And so the idea is that a lot of work took place before this item was brought in front of you. So we are ready to release the job announcement as of Friday if there's approval. So basically the recommendations are to authorize the county administrator's office to move forward with the administrative analyst LAFCO EO recruitment process. And then also to select 3 LAFCO commission members to serve on this interview panel for the recruitment of the EO position. So those are the 2 recommendations. And so I would be, I'd entertain any questions you have on the body of the staff report, rather than going through the specific elements, or if there's anything that you'd like to talk about, or maybe there wasn't enough work done on, I'd be more than happy to address those.
All right, discussion by anyone who'd like to start?
We're there.
Well, I think Supervisor Haggerty has a question or comment.
So, I think you can touch the mics down here.
Well, it seems to be working so far. Georgine is frowning, but that's okay.
You can't do any
You
more
break it,
harm.
you
We're
bought it.
replacing them all.
Okay,
All the wiring is broken.
all right, we're good, as long as we can hear each other.
So, the salary,
Yes,
I'm assuming that you looked at other LAFCO salaries in
that's
there?
correct.
And this is competitive?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions or comments by anyone? Then we're asked for 2 separate ideas.
Yeah.
Shall we move forward with this, accepting this description of the position and all that goes with it? And have the county move forward with the process? You want those in 2 separate motions?
That'd be
Yes.
great.
Along with staff report.
All right.
3 LAFCO commissioners,
I'm sorry?
the 3 LAFCO commissioners.
And then we'll, after we make the 2 motions, we'll appoint 3.
Yeah,
We'll
perfect.
see who we have for volunteers.
Second.
All right, second on the first motion to accept this report. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, to go forward with the process.
I'll move that.
Okay.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? So moved. Now we have the appointment of 3 people who would like to help in, as the recruitment moves forward. We don't know how long this is going to take, but we need 3 people who are willing to meet. Supervisor Haggerty, with a chip in his mouth, I think is volunteering also, right? Georgine is volunteering.
It's a great.
Okay, it's a great, a healthy one. All right, we have 3 people who volunteered. Is that satisfactory with everyone?
So are they going to do an initial evaluation of the candidates, and then they'll come back to the full commission for final interviews?
Yes, I don't think they want to make the decision on their own, but yeah, that's the process. Okay, with that then, if that staff has the names of those 3 volunteers, thank you volunteers.
Perfect.
We appreciate it. Next item is a request to further continue the City of Pleasanton update option review as continued from the January 11th public hearing. Vice Glenn, have a great time.
I think one of the, there was a request as of the January meeting that this item be brought back to you. What we have found is that there's a lot of information out there, and the idea is that we want to make sure that we have a comprehensive timeline of how we got here.
Okay.
And in the interim, I've had conversations with the city manager of Pleasanton, that the idea is, well, we want to be able to kind of make sure that our different data points match up and align. And so the idea is that we will be meeting in the next couple of weeks. So we want to be able to give the attention that this matter deserves, and to make sure that everybody is working on the same fact, based timeline of how we got here.
I admire you going into this, because it is certainly complicated, but I appreciate your endeavors to get us on the same page. Okay, and that is, the recommendation is to continue the item to allow time to complete the analysis. Motion? We need a motion?
So moved.
Motion's made, seconded, discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Now you know it's official, so that's good. Okay, is there any item that the commission, any member cares to bring before us? Seeing none. There were informational items. Everybody's noted those. Any question about any of them? Don't forget Form 700.
Yes.
And then, anything else?
The only thing I'd like to bring up is that when I met with the Policy and Budget Committee is that we are in the process of updating the website for LAFCO.
Okay.
And I was able to give, kind of an example of what it looked like. I wanted to be able to present the actual one today, but we should be able to present something to you in May so that you can see the look and feel of what it will look like. One of the things I want to make sure to meet expectations is what it's going to do is it's going to redesign what the appearance of the website looks like. There's a second part of the kind of website strength, which is the online applications and doing all those things, which are going to take a lot more work to get there. So what you will see, hopefully by late spring, early summer, is just a refresh of what the LAFCO page looks like. And I've been bumping around different LAFCO agencies, and I think the design is very pleasing and easy to the user. I mean, that's the bottom line. But I just want to make sure that the expectations are met. So what's presented to you is just the housing of the information in a new format. The detail as far as online forms and all that kind of stuff is still being worked, because that's a long process, but we wanted to move forward.
Okay, well, we'll look forward to that in May also. I do want to ask a question. Just dawned on me, we normally have an intern in the summer, and can we go forward with that? Because we're not sure when we're going to have a new director, so maybe if you can talk to Sandy about how we've done that before.
Well, when I was requested to go back and help the county administrator's office, it was felt that I might not have the time to really oversee a summer intern.
This year?
Right, like
Okay.
last year, the last couple of years. I will mention that we do have the county CO office has an intern that rotates. It's called Project Search, right?
Project Search.
And so I use my time that I spend in the county with
Let's
that.
not forget about this process, because I thought it was very useful. And they've
Yeah,
been-
it just was felt that I really didn't have enough time
I
since I
appreciate
wasn't
that,
full-time LAFCO
especially
anymore.
this year.
Yeah.
Let's just don't lose it in the process for the future.
It is included in the budget. There's
Okay,
a
good.
line item for that in the
Okay.
budget.
Great.
And then I'd also like to point out that we have, at the agreement of the members of the Policy and Budget Committee, we've rescheduled that for Thursday, April 5th to accommodate the staff workshop, so
Okay,
They all
so
know
that's
that.
good.
I want to put that on
Everybody
there.
needs to know about that. Johnny, is there anything else you'd like to bring up?
I'd just like to thank, staff, LAFCO staff, as far as kind of really stepping up to the plate. As mentioned, all of you recognize the work that they do. So it's been quite an education for me. I thought the easiest part was actually coming and facilitating being in the seat, but the rest of it's pretty interesting. We've had a lot of interesting discussions as far as moving forward and really taking a look at kind of, my focus has been, is getting you the next great executive officer. So,
Well, I certainly appreciate your endeavors. That is, you've taken a lot on, and I think you've done a great job. I've always felt totally informed about what's going on. Scott?
I think when we had our retreat, actually, I brought the website issue up. If I did, it wasn't a big deal, but what I did at the retreat was I had looked at other LAFCO websites, and I looked down south at some of the LAFCOs down there during the meeting. And I would suggest, or maybe you already did, but I would suggest you do that and look at some of them down south.
I followed up on your notes on your retreat
Okay.
and looked at a lot of them. They're going to some more kind of boilerplate looks and feel, because one of them that we looked at was, we looked at a lot of them down in I looked at a lot of them down in Southern California. I think that you will probably be pleased with the look. I'm not positive, but the idea is looking at some in the south. I even went, we went to Santa Clara just to look at kind of our normal, it's not a competition based, but the idea about who are local, especially the technology hub. And I would say that what's being proposed is a very attractive and welcoming site. Because right now, it's a functional site, so I won't take that away. But the idea is that what brings people back to a website is really the content. The idea is it will just be refreshed. I think where the real meat and potatoes in this is when we can do more things online, that it becomes more automated in that regard.
Will there be any, I know the county has a really cool video of kind of like a flyover of the county kind of showing some of the stuff. Will there be any
You just gave her another idea.
well, it's just kind of
Yeah, that's good.
highlighting like an introductory to Alameda County. It would be nice to have like a video you could click onto that lets you kind of become familiarized with the county.
I think it might help
Yeah.
people understand LAFCO and what we're
Right,
doing too.
I always like to think we're a unique county, although when I go to NACO, I find out we're not so unique. But we have the rural, urban, and suburban, and we have some really great things here. So I think it's important to highlight them.
Okay, good. Sounds like Joni is hard at work on that. We did talk briefly before, Joni, that you would like, if possible, I guess it is Supervisor Haggerty and Sean and I to try to come to a time that we could interview.
Yeah.
Yes. The applicants, decide on who we might want to interview as applicants for the public member. So if you could stay for a moment afterwards, since we've been so efficient.
I have to put my little schedule here. My scheduler's here. She can-
Your scheduler just disappeared. Oh, there she is. I saw Sean run out the door, and I thought, oh my gosh, there he goes.
He's not scheduled.
Okay, is there anything further anybody would like to add? Thank you all for being here and getting through a number of items. Nick, hello and
Ran a
goodbye.
quick meeting.
Meeting is adjourned. Everybody